I'm here to take a small bite out of Mr. Steve Jobs' life, who was, as you may know, the CEO and co founder of Apple Incorporated. Steve Jobs was a charismatic risk taker, a quality that led him to being an influential business magnate and industrial designer. I am honored to be with you today at your commencement from one of the finest universities in the world. I never graduated from college. Truth be told, this is the closest I've ever gotten to a college graduation. So today, I'm going to tell you a story of my life. That's it, no big deal, just a story. A story about death. When I was 17, I read a quote. If you live each day as if it was your last, someday you'll most certainly be right. Now that made an impression on me. And since then, for the past 33 years, I've looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm about to do today? And whenever the answer has been no for too many days in a row, I know that I need to change something. About a year ago, I was diagnosed with cancer. I had a scan at 7:30 in the morning and it showed a tumor on my pancreas. I didn't even know what a pancreas was. The doctors told me that it was certainly a type of cancer that is incurable and that I should expect to live no longer than 3 to 6 months. My doctor advised me to go home and get my affairs in order. I lived with that diagnosis all day. Later that evening, I had a biopsy. I was sedated, but my wife, who was there, told me that when the doctors viewed the cells under a microscope, they were amazed because it turned out to be a very rare form of pancreatic cancer that is curable with surgery. I had the surgery and I'm fine now. So this was the closest I've been to facing death. And I hope it's the closest that I get for a few more decades. Having lived through it, I can now say this to you with a bit more certainty than when death was a useful but purely intellectual concept. No one wants to die. Even people who want to go to heaven don't want to die to get there. And yet death is the destination we all share. Sorry to be so dramatic, but it's quite true. Your time is limited. So don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most importantly, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. I am reminded of a publication called The Whole Earth Catalog. It was one of the Bibles of my generation before personal computers and desktop publishing. So it was like Google in paperback form, 35 years before Google came along. It was in the mid-1970s when I was your age. I vividly recall the back cover of their final issue. It was a photograph of an early morning country road, the kind you might find yourself hitchhiking on if you were so adventurous. So beneath it were the words, "Stay hungry, stay foolish." It was their farewell message as they signed off. And I have always wished that for myself. And now, as you graduate to begin anew, I wish that for you. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Husain, for such a wonderful performance. Thank you, MSB Nairobi.
Thank you.
With this, we end our event for today. I would like the judges to give us some feedback.
This is our